left religion and fundamentalist Christianity, I realized that purity culture and the importance put on virginity and purity increases a woman's chance, pretty much triples it, that she will have some form of sexual or psychological hang-up, maybe a disorder or a painful bodily reaction to sexual activity. If you've ever heard of things like pelvic floor pain, vaginismus, endometriosis, they're conditions that arise due to a classic fear response. It can be anything from a woman feeling as though she's not safe in her own skin, that she's going to be judged. It's a fear response. Women who survive any form of Christian purity culture, Christian ideology, virginity education, she is 3 times more likely to develop some form of sexual dysfunction. Why? Because religion, when it comes to sex, body image, and purity, it creates an internalized reaction, a status quo, a default setting, that if you're anything but this very narrow-viewed type of person, you're going to be judged, or worse, you will judge yourself. The standards for women in church are almost unattainable. And if anything happened to you under the age of 22 that was not your fault, that you had no control over, the church doesn't treat it any differently than if you were promiscuous. Think about that. A child or young adult survives a consistent child sex abuse lifestyle that has nothing to do with this person. They were just targeted and harmed by someone they trusted or someone who should have protected them. The church doesn't treat what they did, what happened to them, against their own will. They don't see any difference between promiscuous sex and violent assault. Because they can't see a difference. Because churches lump together crimes and consensual unmarried acts. And they know the difference. I mean, we talked about last time how the church is rampant in sex abuse and targeting people who are vulnerable. And yet, churches won't protect innocent victims before, during, or after the incidences of abuse. I have watched YouTube videos where pastors of big mega churches, when they talk about sexual sin, they actually include crimes. They compare a creepy guy at a gym looking at women unconsensually with masturbation. People are taught from such a young age that being a pervy, creepy predator is the same, or is in the same category as somebody who consensually has sex with somebody, or self-exploration. There's no difference. There's nothing different about any of this. And why is this so harmful? Because you're teaching women to see any form of sexual abuse as the same as with consensual behavior. It's damaging. Because sexual sin, even though I don't believe it, such a ludicrous, stupid idea, the idea that women and their sexuality, if you have any type of sex before marriage, it's listed as promiscuous behavior. It's lumped in, believe it or not, it is lumped in with CSA or stalking. It's not, when you lump an actual crime with normal, healthy, consensual, loving, expected behavior, you are creating an environment where women are abused. And they don't see anything wrong with it. Because consent is something they've either never learned, don't understand, or completely reject. Autonomy? They don't want women to have autonomy. They want women to feel shame for doing anything with their body. And it's so sad. It is so sad the way Christians view women's bodies and women's appetites. The idea that a woman could actually enjoy the existence that she chooses, that she could consensually want sex, is so foreign to them. I've been in churches that actually believe that women's sexuality should not exist or does not exist outside of marriage and without a man being involved. Which means they believe that women don't have sex drives. That their job in a marriage is to suck it up and do whatever the man wants. That is their view of sexuality. And this is so harmful because you are teaching women that they don't have a sex drive like men. That their desires, you shouldn't have desires because you're a woman. This is so harmful. Women live their whole lives in church and believe that, oh, you have pain during sex? Well, that's just normal. Women actually create their own pain to protect themselves against the patriarchy. Vaginismus, endometriosis are your neurological system's way of protecting somebody from their own negative thoughts, their own judgments. Their body actually closes itself off and anticipates pain because of the religious culture they grew up in. It's amazing how the body protects itself, how the body takes measures to protect itself when the human being can't. And as long as women are looked down upon, and there is no harsher critic than a woman's own mind, women will never get over these awful, traumatic views of sex as long as men can't see the difference. Lumping an actual crime in with normal, consensual, natural behavior is intentional. There is no way that is not intentional. It's sick. And women bear the brunt of men's inability to accept the way the world works. Men will blame women for everything, and then they will be aghast and surprised why women don't want to have sex. It's not because they don't have a low sex drive. It's because their opinions, their desires, doesn't even exist on the same radar as men. Men could never accept in church that a woman might have a higher sex drive than a man, that might want to do things that aren't stereotypically female kinks. Men think they have female sexuality all figured out. They can't even refer to female sexuality in a healthy, intimacy-creating, vulnerable way. And they villainize it. They villainize it. And they hold women hostage so that women can hold hostage the honor system of men. It's so intentional. It's so insidious that women can go their whole lives without being a satisfied, happy, and feeling independent and safe in their own skin. It's an intentional, patriarchal way to villainize women who may or may not fit within the gender expectation. And women will pay the ultimate price. And you're lucky if your male partner even acknowledges your pain or puts a stop to things that causes her pain until these things are addressed. Virginity, purity, and honor cause women's bodies to actually misuse itself. And it's tragic. Religious dogma, religious shame can actually cause autoimmune disorders and pelvic floor pain. But until men start getting it too, they're not going to take it seriously. They actually advocate for these behaviors that cause women pain. And I don't want anything to do with these abhorrent views of women and their bodies.